Welcome to your Tuesday yoga practice. Thank you for being here. Let's find a comfortable, easy seat to allow ourselves to drop in, arriving in this moment. If you are sitting on a blanket or a meditation cushion, let's go to the very edge of it. So just our little hip points are connected and the rest of us is kind of starting to fall forward, giving the hips a lift. Sit tall here. If it feels comfortable, you might soften your gaze or close your eyes. Notice that the body is breathing. Notice how the breath feels in this moment. If it's smooth and full, or rigid and shallow, or somewhere in between. And practicing noticing without evaluating or judging, without critiquing or criticizing. Just notice neutrally the breath here, right now. Our quote this morning comes from Corsten. Loving yourself starts with liking yourself, which starts with respecting yourself, which starts with thinking of yourself in positive ways. So today, as we explore the Yama, the principle of Ahimsa, non-violence, non-harm, we could think of that in our thoughts towards ourselves. So perhaps, if you're willing, you explore inviting in that intention for the day of noticing your thoughts towards yourself. This could be your self-talk, an internal dialogue or monologue. And when you're not being kind to yourself, when you're not talking to yourself the way you would your best friend, someone you love and respect, you can notice and interrupt the thought simply by noticing. You might say, that's not a kind thought. Just the act of interrupting can help us carve new grooves, new pathways in the way we communicate to ourselves, practicing Ahimsa. If you'd like to chant Om, we can draw our hands together. Anjali Mudra, pressing the hands, lifting the heart, lifting the crown. Breathe deeply if you'd like to chant Om. Release your hands. Gently make your way onto your spine. We will take some reclined spinal twists. If you know that you like to have a blanket on your side for the legs to fall onto, or blocks perhaps, you can put those on your right side. And then make your way onto your spine, keeping the feet planted, knees pointed towards the sky. Remember, the golden rule is to always do what feels right to you in this moment. So let's begin by allowing a breath or two of the body settling onto the mat. You might notice the shoulders twitching or softening. And then as it feels right, start rocking your head side to side, looking left and right, only moving in a way that feels good. So maybe the movement is small. Or maybe you're taking full rotation. Keep breathing deeply. And we can open our arms out wide like a T or a cactus. Let your legs fall to the right, just letting them drop like windshield wipers to the side. Breathe in fully, and when you exhale, bring your legs back to neutral, and then let them fall over to the left. Staying for a full, slow breath. On an exhale, Bring the legs back to neutral. And you can keep doing it that way, or you can lift your feet, stacking the knees over the hips. Inhale. And exhale, let your legs fall to the right. You might have a blanket under your thighs to catch the legs. You might keep your ankles, knees relatively stacked. Perhaps you send your left leg, your top leg, long. You can press the back of your head into the earth to pick up and drape your shoulders back down on the mat. And maybe you look over your left shoulder. Staying in a range that feels good to you right now. Breathe. If you can, soften your shoulders. Notice if the tongue is pressing to the roof of the mouth. Maybe you can soften there too. As you're ready, inhale deeply and exhale to bring your legs back to neutral, knees over hips. If you're using a blanket or prop under your legs, move that to your left side. And on an exhale, let the legs fall to the left. Again, settling in here, you might pick up and then soften your shoulders onto the mat. Maybe you look over your right shoulder. Full soothing breaths. Noticing where the thoughts go. As you're ready, breathe in, breathe out, and bring your legs back to neutral. Now you can either roll onto one side or rock yourself up. We'll make our way to a seated posture. If you like to sit on a blanket, then you can sit on just the very edge, or maybe you go ahead and set the blanket to the side. Sitting tall, notice which leg you have crossed in front, becoming aware of all of our little subconscious preferences so we can disrupt them. On an inhale, reach out and up, big stretch to the sky. Lengthen your spine, engage your core. Maybe you even look up. One more big reach. And on your exhale, gentle twist to the right, lowering your hands down. Keep sitting tall, floating the crown of the head up to the sky. Gentle engagement of the core. And just to explore, you might soften your abdominal muscles. Notice how you might move deeper into the twist. And then as you inhale, you can unwind a little, re-engage, keep the stability. As you exhale, maybe look over the back shoulder. On your inhale, come back through neutral, reaching to the sky, stretching up. And on your exhale, twist to your left, lowering your arms. Keep sitting tall. As the body breathes and expands, you might feel the untwisting, unwinding. And as you exhale, maybe you soften deeper. Remembering it's never about how deeply we move into these shapes, just about how deeply we experience them. On your inhale, come back to center, reach. Exhale, release the hands down. Remembering which leg you folded in front, plant both feet. If you'd like to hold a block between your ankles as we explore Navasana boat pose, then you can go ahead and place the block there. Certainly easier with the foam block than the cork ones. Sit really tall. You can hold your legs or bring your hands back behind your hips. Draw the navel back towards the spine, up towards the heart. Really just a way of saying really engage your core. And maybe you float your toes off of the ground. Keep lifting the heart, lengthening the spine, breathing fully. You can stay just like this, maybe hovering the toes, tapping them down as needed. Maybe you lift your shins towards parallel. Keep engaging the abdominal muscles. Maybe you're able to release the hands from the ground or leg and reach to the distance. Spread your fingers and your toes wide, breathing fully. maybe smiling if you like. And from here, inhale. Exhale, take a twist to your right, like you're making an offering off to the right. You can always return your hands to the earth or legs. One more breath. Exhale through neutral. Inhale, re-lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist to your left. You've got this. Breathe. Modify as needed. It's your practice. Inhale. Exhale, return to neutral. Release the feet to the ground. Rest your arms on your knees. You can hold your hands. Inhale to sit really tall. And exhale, let the head be heavy. Let the spine round. Let the belly soften. Noticing the experience here, if the breath or the heart rate has changed. And sitting tall, cross the non-dominant leg in front. Inhale to reach to the sky. When you're ready, exhale and twist to your right, taking a couple of breaths here, doing your best to soften and sink your hips into the ground. As the hips sink and soften, the crown of the head keeps lifting, the neck is long. On your inhale, come through center, reach. And on your exhale, gentle twist to the left, sitting tall. On your inhale, come back to center, reach up. Exhale your hands to the ground and make your way into tabletop. Varmanasana. Spread your fingers comfortably wide, gripping with the fingertips, the inner lines of your hands, so the root of your index finger and thumb. On your inhale, drop your belly, shoulder blades slide together, look up. And on your exhale, push the ground away, rounding, arching your spine. Breathe and move through cow and cat in a way that feels good to you. Another cycle or two of breath. And as you're ready, return to neutral. Tuck your toes, full breath in. Exhale, lift your knees, send the hips high, slide your heart back towards your thighs, finding Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take any movement that feels right to you here. Maybe bending one knee and then the other, swaying the hips. You might shake and nod the head. You might bring your hands and your feet out wider, giving your shoulders a bit more space, giving your hips more space. Staying for another breath or two. And on your inhale, look forward. Core muscles engaged. Exhale, slowly step your way to the top of the mat. If you're using blocks, you can bring them under your fingers. And on an inhale, lift up halfway, long spine, fingertips to blocks. Core engaged. See about lengthening your neck, lengthening your low back. One more breath. On an exhale, soften your knees, fold forward. Straighten your left leg, keeping your right leg bent. Right hand planted, bring your left hand to the low back and open your chest to the left. You can stay just like this, maybe looking down, maybe looking up. Maybe you reach your left fingertips to the sky. Inhale. And on your exhale, soften the left knee, plant the left hand. Straighten the right leg any amount. Right hand to your sacral area, low back. Rotate your torso to the right. Looking down or up, you might reach your right fingertips to the sky. Full breath. One more breath, and on your exhale, soften the right knee, fold forward, Uttanasana. On an inhale, rise all the way up, reaching to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale to reach, big stretch. Exhale, hinge forward, long spine, softening the knees as you go. Hands touch down, step your right foot way back in space. High runner's lunge, you might bring blocks under your hands here. Left knee over left ankle, you can stay as you are. You could lower your right knee if you prefer. Plant the right hand, left hand to the outside of the left thigh. Look over your left shoulder. And from here, you have so many options. You might stay just like this. Maybe you lift the right knee if you had lowered it. Maybe you reach your left arm back in space or up to the sky. Maybe you check your balance and float your right hand off of the ground, rising up. Choose your own adventure here as long as you're breathing deeply and noticing where you're going. On your next exhale, slowly unwind. Plant your hands to frame your left foot and step yourself back to plank pose, Balasana. Push the ground away here. Lots of energy through the legs. Press back through your heels and imagine squeezing the thighs together a bit. One more breath. Exhale to lower your knees and lower your torso, arms hugging the side body all the way down. Point your toes back, lengthen your low back, and on an inhale, lift your heart any amount. Bhujangasana, baby cobra, or full cobra. One more breath. And on your exhale, lower your forehead, tuck your toes, arms are hugging your side body. Inhale, exhale, and with no breath in the body, push the ground away. Plank, inhale, and exhale, send the hips high, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, or lower your knees, sink your hips, find Balasana, child's pose. 3 to 5 breaths. Doing what feels right to you in this moment, being kind to yourself in thought and action. On an inhale, look forward. On an exhale, step or swing the right foot to the top of the mat. Pausing in high runner's lunge, maybe bringing blocks under your fingertips. Maybe you lower your left knee, maybe you keep it lifted. Here we can plant the left hand, right hand coming to the right thigh, rotating your torso to the right. Maybe looking over your right shoulder, reaching the arm back. As you start to settle into this revolved lunge, you might lift your left knee off of the ground. Maybe you peel your left hand off of the ground, lifting the torso, relatively stacking shoulders over hips. Noticing your breath. One more cycle here. And as you exhale, slowly unwind, setting your right hand down. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, giant step to the top of the mat. Hang heavy, Uttanasana, forward fold. Move the blocks in front of your feet if you're using them. We'll explore standing splits, so shift the weight into your left foot and start lifting the right leg back. Imagine lifting the right heel towards the sky, but keeping the right hip dropped so the hips are neutral. You can stay just like this. This is a lot of work. Or you can bring the right hand to the block about a foot in front of you and towards the right. Bring the left hand to the low back. Good morning, Toby. And rotate your torso to the left. Stand into the left leg, engage the left gluteal muscles. Maybe your left hand reaches to the sky. Parvrita Virabhadrasana 1, revolved warrior 1. Another breath or two to explore. Remember, we're not in competition with ourselves or anyone, just seeing what's here. On your exhale, slowly unwind, setting the right foot and left hand down. You might heel toe the feet out a little bit wider, hang heavy, taking a forward fold with the elbows clasped. Shake and nod the head, sway, move in a way that feels really soothing to you after that effort. And then releasing the hands, placing them back on the blocks. If you're using them, shift the weight into your right leg, really engaging the right gluteal muscles, floating the left foot back and up. Keep the left hip dropped. There'll be a tendency for it to hike up. You might carry the weight into your left hand as you bring your right hand to your low back and rotate your torso open to the right. Maybe lift your right hand to the sky. Lots of energy through both legs. You could imagine that you're standing in mountain pose or in plank pose with both legs. Notice what's happening to your breath during this effort. And on an exhale, release it all, returning to Uttanasana, forward fold. You might clasp opposite elbows, and if you do that again, then release one of the hands and switch the weave. Just a breath or two. Release the arms. If you've got a block handy, place it between your ankles or thighs. Sink your hips low. And on an inhale, reach up, Utkatasana, awkward chair pose, or powerful pose. Really engage your gluteal muscles here. See about lengthening your low back by engaging your core. Glancing down, we can pretty well see our toes in front of our knees. Inhale for length. Exhale, take a twist to the right, hands coming to your heart. Your choice, you might fold forward so much that your left elbow comes to the outside of your right thigh, if that's an option. Pressing the hands together, you can stack the right shoulder over the left, perhaps looking up. Maybe opening your arms out wide. One more breath wherever you've gone. Exhale, come to stand tall, mountain pose, hands in front of heart. Take a breath here, maybe placing the hands, stacking them one over the other over your chest. Noticing, maybe thanking the heart and the breath for adapting. On an inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, sit low. Engage your gluteal muscles. Shift the weight back towards your heels. One more inhale for length. And exhale, twist to your left, hands coming together in front of your heart. Maybe you fold forward if you're able to hook the right elbow onto the outside of the left thigh. Pressing the hands together, maybe you stack the left shoulder over the right. Maybe you're looking up, maybe down. And perhaps you open your arms out wide. Moving in a way that works for you today, full breath. You are strong. And as you're ready, release. Stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. A breath or two of recovery, letting the body restore balance. And releasing the block if you squeezed it between your legs. Exploring Parvrita Hasta Padangustasana, so revolved hand to big toe. This is kind of the idea of where we're going. You might move to furniture or wall if you want a little support for your balance. And then standing tall, notice your feet on the ground. So pausing for a moment to actually feel the textures, feel the temperatures, the weight of your body supported by this foundation. As you're ready, shift your weight into your left leg and bring your hands to your hips as you explore balancing. Weight carried on the left leg, and this might be where you stay. The right foot just barely hovering off of the earth. Maybe keep the right toes on the ground, bending the right knee. Lengthen your low back, lifting up through your crown. Rotate your torso towards the right. And you might reach your arms out wide. So this is enough. You can stay exactly as you are. If you're feeling steady, you might lift the right leg more. Maybe bringing the thigh towards parallel to the earth. Left hand could come to the outside of the right thigh. As the right arm reaches back, we might look towards the right thumb. Maybe you're able to reach your left peace fingers to the right big toe. This is a great time also to use your strap. Maybe it's an option to bring your left hand to the pinky side edge of your right foot and then send the leg long. A few more breaths to explore. Noticing if you push yourself to the point that your alignment and your breath and everything's all out of whack and difficult, and then you might choose to back off, emphasizing the lengthening of the spine, the fullness of the breath, steadiness of the mind. Good. Noticing where you've gone with it. And on your exhale, slowly unwinding, setting the right foot down, pause in Tadasana Mountain Pose. Notice how the body feels. If the mind has any judgments or critiques, just noticing them for what they are, thoughts. And as you're ready, hands can come to hips as you shift your weight into your right leg, engaging the right gluteal muscles. Imagine everything hugging in towards the midline, Sushumna, central line of energy. You might keep the left toes on the ground as you lift, lengthen, and rotate to the left. Maybe you lift the left thigh towards parallel. Right hand can support it. You might be looping a strap under your foot and sending the leg long. Keep standing really intentionally down into your right leg. Noticing how it's going. Noticing if the mind is making it a competition, judging the abilities. Maybe the mind is just thrilled at the effort. Good job. Are you your own cheerleader or critic? Just noticing. Another breath or two. As you're ready, slowly return to Tadasana Mountain Pose. Releasing wherever you went, standing tall right where you are. Let's make our way onto our spine. Reclining down, open your arms out wide. If you have a favorite recline twist, you're welcome to take that now. I'll cue us to send the right leg long. Hook the left toes under the right knee and let your left leg fall to the right. Stay for a breath or two here. And then return your hips to neutral. Switch your legs, left leg long, right leg bent. Right toes can hook under the right knee, the left knee, as we send the right knee over to the left side. And as you feel ready, return to lie on your back, sending your legs and arms long, palms towards the sky if that's comfortable. Resting for several full breaths in Shavasana. trusting that this time is valuable. Loving yourself starts with liking yourself, which starts with respecting yourself, which starts with thinking of yourself in positive ways. As we move through the rest of this day, perhaps we notice if our thoughts are positive or not about ourselves. Maybe inviting in more awareness, more space to pause the cycle of thoughts. As you're ready, deepen your breath and invite movement back into your body, knowing that you can always let this time last as long as you'd like. But for the sake of our 30-minute practice, I'll invite you to return to an easy seat. If you'd like to close as a group, we'll sit tall, hands together in front of heart. If you'd like to chant one long Om, this auspicious sound representing the experience of existence. Inhale deeply for Om. Thank you for sharing your time and your practice. Thank you to all of the teachers who have passed down this gift of yoga. Good morning.